Alright, what's going on, dudes, and welcome back at long last to a new Minecraft Snapshot. This is the first one for the pre-release of 1.7, and needless to say, the first one released in quite a while since 1.6 came out, and I miss doing these videos for you. One can only hope that maybe this marks the return to consistent weekly releases, although I guess no one really knows for sure except the Mojang guys. Anyway, I apologize for being a day late, but it has its benefits because the B version of the Snapshot was released, so it has some bug fixes. And yeah, so hopefully things will run a bit smoother. Anyway, I'm going to segment it into two videos. This one will be on the new terrain generation, biomes, so on and so forth. And the second one will be on all the new miscellaneous changes like new blocks, new items, so on and so forth. So let's jump right into it. Right now, I'm standing on the peak of what's actually a new world type. I hope you're not afraid of heights. Woo, boy. So this is called amplified terrain. So if you go into the more world options, when you create a new world, just like there's super flat, large biome, so on and so forth, now there's a new option called amplified, and it amplifies your mountains to go very, very high. I don't know if you recall back to a mod I looked at like a year and a half, 2 years ago that allowed you to change your max world height to like 512, 1024, so on and so forth. Anyway, this does something pretty similar to that, and it's pretty cool. You can go base jumping. If you had a parachute mod, you could totally pretend you were doing that. So yeah, I can just fly around a little bit here to give you a better idea of how things look, and then we'll move on over to some of the new biomes in just the regular generated worlds. So there you go. Tall mountains, pretty deep valleys, and that's about it for Amplified. The only drawback is it's pretty CPU intensive, so it takes a while to load the chunks. But once they're there, then you should be good to go. So anyway, from here we'll move on into some other biomes that are generated just using the default world settings. Alright, so first up in our list of new biomes is what people have been calling the roofed forest. I don't know if that's the official name or not, but I'm going to go ahead and call the biomes what I've seen people referring to them most of the time. So it's sort of a more thickly wooded forest where the light doesn't actually necessarily get through all the way to the ground floor. I've seen some mobs spawning here and there. I don't know if that's simply because they came out of a cave or if they actually spawned underneath the leaves because it got dark enough at a certain area. Anyway, I don't know for sure, but you've got some giant mushrooms that generate naturally, which is pretty cool because that's actually the only other location where you'll find them aside from the mushroom biomes, but obviously the mushroom biomes are pretty rare to stumble upon, so this is probably your best bet now for finding them. And that's about it. Give you a nice wide shot, and then we'll move on to the next one. So next up, we've got what seems to be known as the Mega Taiga biome. Not Mega Tiger, Mega Taiga, like the rapper. In fact, this biome was totally named that because sometimes you can expect to see a mega huge version of him walking around. New boss battle. Don't listen to me, that's not true. So it's sort of like a redwood forest. That's kind of what I call it. Like, it has that Northern California atmosphere vibe going on with some taller trees, with thicker stumps. And it also has a new block called Podzol, which is sort of like dirt, except it can't be overgrown by grass, and it has a different top texture and whatnot. And yeah, give you a nice wide shot, and then we will go ahead and move on to the next. And I realize I should probably F1 this because my hand is absolutely serving no purpose. So yeah, on to the next biome. So now we're in what's not necessarily like a brand new biome, but more of a tweak to an existing biome. This is a plain biome, except now it has flowers all over it, so it's a flowery plain. Now bear in mind that not all plains generate with a bunch of flowers on them, so this is sort of a new thing. But again, it's just a combination of a couple different features. And this is actually something that seems to be happening in the snapshot, is that there will be biomes that sort of combine features of pre-existing ones. So you could have, like, I don't know, a Mega Taiga in Extreme Hills. I don't know if you can have that combination in particular, but I've seen just random things throughout, like a plain that now has a bunch of flowers on it, that seem to be combinations of different features. So again, you got lots of new flowers, and I'll take a look at them in more depth in the next video, where we're taking a look at new items, blocks, so on and so forth. But for now, you just get sort of an overall look and feel as to, I don't know, maybe you want to frolic here with animals, and you'll feel really bad if you ever want to kill a pig or chicken here, because it's just such a happy place. So, yeah. Anyway, these are the new flowery plains, or sunflower plains, whatever you want to call them, because these are sunflowers. And, yeah, let's move on to the next. This is the new Savanna Plateau biome. It's got sort of that African savanna feel to it, like you could go on a safari here. I don't know. And I just totally realized I used savanna in order to describe itself. Thank you, Captain Obvious. So the lowlands lead into some hills, and then the hills lead into plateaus, and the plateaus are sort of bordered by rivers and lowlands, so on and so forth. It's a pretty cool new biome, I think. At least this is one of my new favorites. Anyway, I wanted to use this as sort of an example to show you Minecraft's new way of placing biomes next to each other. So basically, in this version, each biome now belongs to a certain category of temperature, so ranging from very cold to very hot. And the game will try to place biomes next to each other that are on bordering heat categories. So rather than now getting deserts that lead into snow biomes, you'll get a desert that maybe leads into one of the savanna plateaus, that then leads into a forest, and then it'll lead into a snowy area. So rather than these really harsh transitions that you wouldn't necessarily see in the real world, it'll try to gradually lead into different temperature ranges. Obviously, it can't be completely perfect, because that would be a very big puzzle to try to solve. In fact, it would probably be impossible, but more often than not, you'll see biomes sort of smoothly transitioning now. So that's pretty cool. And I wanted to use this as an example because you can kind of see the Savanna Plateau leading into a desert here. It dead ends in the ocean, but you kind of get the idea. So not the best example, but hopefully my description will suffice. Anyway, from here we'll move on to another biome. Here we have the birch forest biome, which, although it looks similar to the regular old forest that's always been in Minecraft, it is new because every tree is a birch tree. So if you are a fan of birch trees, then come on down and have a nice vacation at the Birch Tree Forest. This message brought to you by the Birch Tree Tourism Board. Anyway, it is what it is. It's a forest made of birch, and here's a nice wide shot. And now we'll go ahead and move on to the next. This is what's known as the Stone Beach biome. It's pretty self-explanatory, I'd say, given the name. It's got a lot of beaches that are made of stone. It also serves as a good example, though, of the fact that now, even in biomes that aren't necessarily snow biomes, when you get above, it's either y equals 80 or y equals 90. I guess we can check right now. It is y equals 90, at least right here, but I could have sworn I remember seeing y equals 80 somewhere else. Anyway, when you get above a certain elevation, snow will start to generate, even if you're not necessarily in a snow biome. That right there that we're looking at is a snow biome. So don't be mistaken, though. We're in a different biome here. Yeah, so again, snow can generate, if you look at these treetops as well, once you get above a certain elevation. And that's something to keep in mind, I guess. So this is the Stone Beach. And now we'll move on to the final few that are remaining. I've gone ahead and tried to save some of the best for last to give you some encouragement to stick around until the end. This is the Ice Spikes biome. It's what used to be a regular old snow biome, but now it has these really cool ice spiky structures thrown in them that are actually made of a new block. It's called packed ice. It's an ice block with no transparency, more or less. You can sort of see the difference between the spikes and the ice that's on the surface of the lake here. And I like it. I think this one's super freaking cool. And you could make like an igloo out of one of the spikes. I don't know, the possibilities are totally endless. So let's go ahead and get a wide shot, and then we'll move on into actually sort of my favorite new biome. Well, first, an interesting thing that happened in the A release of the Snapshot, and then we'll move on to the real biome. So anyway, so this is what I sort of jokingly refer to as the Black Mesa Plateau biome. So I'm sure a lot of you saw a screenshot a while back that Jeb tweeted. that showed this really cool, like rainbowy hardened clay biome. Well, that's called the Mesa Plateau biome, but in the A release of this week's Snapshot, there was a bit of a bug where that hardened clay rainbowiness didn't generate and everything else did, kind of, I guess. So it turned into basically the biome without the mountains, but it has the tops of the mountains and the base of them with sand and stuff, just not the mountains themselves. So this is the Black Mesa Plateau. Yeah, cool. Anyway, I thought you might be interested in seeing it before we actually move along to the fix that was in the B release, which actually has the biome in all its colorful rainbowy glory. So anyway, get your last good look at this because it was fixed, and well, you can still access it because you can still access the A Snapshot in the launcher. But anyway, let's jump on over to that. So here we have the fix in the B release. You'll probably recognize this biome from the screenshot that Jeb tweeted a few weeks back. We've actually got the hardened clay mountains this time around. It's not all empty space, although you can kind of see what went wrong in the A release of the Snapshot. So I think this is my favorite new biome. It's pretty freaking cool, and I guess there's not really any difficulty in obtaining hardened clay any longer. So that's a good thing. And you can get all sorts of different colors as well. It's pretty friggin' nifty. So yeah, that is the Mesa Plateau biome in its full working glory. And I think that's it for all the new biomes. If I missed anything, I really apologize. Again, there are sort of like combinations of pre-existing biomes that are now present in the new Snapshot. But other than that, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed. If you have, a rating would be much appreciated. Stay tuned for the next video that will be up shortly on all the different items and features other than the biomes that have been added. And hopefully I'll see you there. Thanks for watching, and talk to you soon.